אהלן לכל המטיילים והמטיילות, ואנחנו בעוד פרק של מטוסי נייר, הפודקאסט שלוקח אתכם לטיולים, הרפתקאות, סיפורים ומקומות ברחבי העולם, הישר מאיפה שאתם נמצאים עכשיו ברגע הזה, אם זה הפקקים של איילון או whatever, ואנחנו נמצאים בבית אריאלה, באולפן הפודקאסטים המדהים פה, וזה הולך להיות פרק מיוחד מאוד, אני תמיד אומר את זה, אבל הפעם הוא מאוד מאוד שונה, כי הוא הולך להיות באנגלית, אז מבחינתי זה אתגר. So now I will transfer to English, because my guest here, she speaks only English and Norway, and let's start it. אז ממש שנייה לפני שאנחנו מתחילים ונשובר את השיניים עם האנגלית, אני רוצה להזמין אתכם לבוא, לשמוע, לפגוש ולהכיר את האנשים שמאחורי הפרקים. אני הולך להתחיל לארח סדרת הרצאות אינטימיות, שהמטרה היא כמובן לעשות שיח ולהעלות בפניכם את אותם אנשים שאתם מכירים ושומעים בפרקים, אבל אני מבטיח לכם שהם פנים אל פנים, עם התמונות ועם הסיפור האישי, זה אחרת לגמרי, ומאפשר לכם לחוות אותם מגוף ראשון, ולי את הזכות לפגוש אותם, ופשוט זה היה מטורף. אני אומר למה שגם לכם לא תהיה את הזכות הזאת. אז אנחנו מתחילים ממש בקרוב, סוף יוני, ספציפית טרסי, שאתם יכולים לשמוע את הסיפור שלה כאן, הולכת להתארח ולספר את הסיפור המלא שלה עם תמונות והכל, וזה הולך להיות ב-29/6 בתל אביב בשעה 8, הרשמה מראש, דרך הרשתות החברתיות, פייסבוק ואינסטגרם, פפרספנס פודקאסט. יאללה, בואו נתחיל.
Hi everyone, I'm Teresie, as Itai said, from Norway. And yeah, I'm happy to be here today to be sharing my journey, and I'm excited to get into the details.
Woo! So I got the opportunity to host her because she is from Norway, and I don't know for a long time she will be in Israel because it starts the summer now. And for Norway people, I don't think the summer in Israel is so good. So how do you feel now? It's May, it's the end of May. It starts a little bit to be warm, and you have a jacket here. So are you ready?
I don't know. It's funny, you know. Outside I'm sweating, inside I'm cold because of the air condition.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I'm sitting in. I even have a scarf.
She brought a scarf in the end of May. I am here with flip-flops and short jeans. So I must say, but for me it's very special because this is the first episode in English, and I know that my English is fine, but my accent is Israeli accent, and also I need to translate myself and have a very long day before. So feel free to correct me if you hear something that's not good. Do you know a little bit Hebrew?
Kitzat?
Yeah, Kitzat? What do you know? Like the basic?
Very, very basic stuff. Like I cannot really make sentences, except for I can say, like at Shabbat dinners, I always say, wait, now to think, toda ala ochel.
Ah, nice.
Meod, no, ta'im meod.
Nice. How do you say like hello in Norwegian?
You can say hi.
Hi, it's basic.
Yep.
Okay, so something more not basic.
If you want to say manishma, you can say hvordan står det til?
Okay, slower. Call te.
Yeah.
It's like call for me a cup of tea, like.
Yeah, it might sound like it, yeah.
te.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a dream to travel in Norway, actually. It's funny because you are here and I want to go there.
Maybe it's a sign.
Yeah, it's a sign. Maybe we can do exchange.
Sure.
I can take your home there.
Yeah.
So, why you are here? Do you know why you are here? Yeah?
Yes. I guess I never imagined that I would be here, but yeah, life has some funny surprises sometimes. Yeah, on my way, like on my journey from South Africa to Norway by bicycle.
This is the issues of this episode. We didn't speak about that yet, but we're doing a spoiler, so it's good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Should I say it? Should I not say it?
No, you need to say like this is the spoiler. We were building up the story.
Yeah. Yeah, so on my way from the most southern point on the African continent to the most northern point in Europe, I cycled through Israel. And when I was here, I met a lot of people, amazing people, and I happened to fall in love with a guy from Israel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So-
him and me also.
He's saying a lot about Israel because you travel in 26 different countries and eventually you find a guy in Israel. So we are the best from 26. So it's good.
I don't know. It's hard, to say why. Like why you suddenly find yourself, falling in love with this person or that person. But we thought now after the journey, then we're gonna give it a shot. So that's why I'm
Oh,
here.
nice. And where did you find him? Just on the way?
In Haifa. Yeah.
So that's on the way because you cycled. So
No, he offered me actually a place to stay. I was looking for a sailboat across the Mediterranean, and I was trying all kinds of things, including being member of all of these different Israeli sailing groups on Facebook, where most people wrote in Hebrew, of course. And I posted asking if anybody was sailing and if I could come. And he happened to be a member of one of these groups, even though he doesn't sail. I think he was also dreaming about sailing. And he saw my post and wrote me saying, "Hi, I don't have a sailboat, but if you need a place to stay and you're in Haifa, you're more than welcome to come and stay with me and my housemates."
oh, wow. So this is how story loves begin.
Yes.
Wow, nice. And do you like Israel so far?
So far, yes.
Yeah. What is expensive, Norway or Israel?
Expensive.
Yeah. Because Norway for us is expensive, but also Israel is expensive. So if you're comparing it,
Definitely. Like now that I'm renting in Tel Aviv, it's insane. Like I feel I'm repeating something everybody knows, but even as a Norwegian, I find the housing market here to be very expensive. Yes.
I've argued some days ago with someone would say, no, Israel, it's expensive, but not like, where is it? No, New York and there's other countries. No, Israel is totally expensive, really, totally expensive. So, back to the story, because you are here, also because you are Norwegian, it's special, but you traveled 25,000 kilometers from South Africa to your hometown and your home country, Norway, by bicycles. Fucking bicycles.
Yes.
So, first of all, why? Why?
I never dreamed of doing anything like this. Seriously, I never did. But with time, I learned about climate change, about the causes of it and the consequences, and I was motivated to reduce my carbon footprint. And I found out that the one thing I was doing in my lifestyle that polluted the most was flying. And at the time, I figured this out. I was living in South Africa. I came there from Norway as a student. I was on student exchange, fell in love with the place, ended up living there for 6 years. So South Africa also became my home. Figure out that, okay, when it was time to go back to Norway, that I wasn't going to fly because of climate change. So then I was kind of at the most southern point in Africa, thinking, okay, well, if I cannot fly, how do I get back home? And then somehow the bicycle came to me as a very natural option because of the low carbon emissions of what it's like to travel with a bike. But also because of the adventure I felt when I was thinking about cycling across continents.
Wow. Did you have any background with bicycles or cycling?
Nothing.
No? You are not the typical sport fan, but cycling for fun every Sunday or something?
Not at all. Like as a kid, of course, I had a bike, like cycling around, cycling to school, these things. But since I moved from home, and also, in Cape Town, I didn't do any cycling. The only cycling I did in Cape Town, you can call it a warm-up if you want, is to partake in Cape Town's World Naked Bike Ride.
What is that?
Yes, you heard correctly.
It's like the name? It's totally like the name?
Yes, that's the name. And
wow.
it's...
It feels not so comfy, really.
Yeah, it's actually like international thing. It happens in many cities, including Cape Town. And it's an annual bike event where you cycle as bare as you dare through the city center. And it's like 5 kilometers.
Wow.
Of riding naked.
Wow.
But then like the whole thing is like to promote what is it called? Body positivism?
Yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And also less reliance on fossil fuel. So, but like you do it mostly for fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
but if you can cycle 5 kilometers, I think you are You have like
Yes.
right body.
Yeah, and like it's a good warm up. Maybe the best warm up to cycling from South Africa to Norway.
Wow. So
Yeah.
people been really totally naked because
Some, yeah.
wow.
Yeah. But it's like it's a very relaxed place, you know. It's not about it's not sexual, you know.
Mhm.
It's like how can I say? It's for fun, you know. Like yeah, like nobody's looking at anyone. It's just yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that in
completely
Israel.
cool.
Nah, in Israel it would not work really.
It's a different context, yes.
Yeah, totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you decided to cycle from South Africa to Norway, but you have like a special trail that you want to go by. You knew before what kind of countries you want to go through.
Yeah, I had an inclination of wanting to travel east in Africa. And from there to cycle along the Mediterranean. I was also thinking, since I'm sure there's many of these places that many of these countries I'm not gonna be in again because I'm trying not to fly.
Mhm.
I thought, okay, let me do some research and look up the coolest places I want to see along the way, and try to create a route between them somehow.
So it's not the shortest way. It's like the most interesting way.
Most interesting way, but like somehow not too many deviations. You travel north. Yeah.
Wow. So you started your travel from South Africa. What was your first country outside? Botswana? Or
Yes,
Botswana?
correctly. Yeah, Botswana, and then I cycled through Zambia and Malawi, and afterwards came Tanzania and Kenya, and then Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, and then Jordan. I cycled in the West Bank, and then Israel, and then I found the sailboats. Yeah, the sailboat. I was
Finally
looking
you
for.
found
I
one.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, to Cyprus, and then to Turkey,
Mhm.
and then I cycled to Greece, and then to Albania and Montenegro. I have to picture the map in my mind now.
I'm trying also to go
Yeah.
through the way.
Albania, and then Montenegro, Croatia, Bosnia Herzegovina, Slovenia, Austria, Germany, Denmark. Found another sailboat over to Sweden because I was not allowed to cycle the bridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
not fitted for cycling.
Mhm. But you know, like, if it was in Israel, fuck
I
it,
know.
I would try.
I know. I wish. Yeah. But yeah, like I checked, you know, like, okay, is it possible? Can I do it somehow? But I heard reports about people trying and getting arrested. So I was like, okay, maybe I should just give it up and yeah, go for the sailboats.
And then you finally arrived to Norway,
Yes, from Sweden to Norway.
to Sweden, and then you go through all the way of Norway to the northern space.
Yeah, the Northern Cape. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I wanted to go there because first I was thinking there's not a big difference between my hometown and the North Cape, only 2,000 kilometers. And after cycling for so many, you're like, what's another, 1,000 kilometers? It's nothing. And I wanted to go from the most southern point in Africa to the most northern one in Europe.
But how did you decide what is the northwest part? Because it's like you can continue, and it depends on the way. So.
Yeah, it depends on the way, but I was going, since I started at the most southern point on the continental Africa, then I found out like what is the most northern point on continental Europe. So it was fairly easy to kind of pinpoint like where the starting point was and the end point.
And you did all the trail by yourself, alone?
Yeah, pretty much. I had one friend join me for 2 weeks in Montenegro, and that was amazing. But yeah, it was...
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very scary. Also, as a guy, I can say that, and also for a woman, because it's not an easy countries on the way. There's a lot of poor countries, and there's a lot of civil wars on the way, and they're not famous for the peace that there is. So how did you deal with all those issues?
You have to take some precautions, but overall, I would say it's not scary. And this is very important for me to communicate. Because, yes, a lot of people who haven't been to many of these countries and who only hear negative news reports don't really have the full picture of what a country is like. and can often have, wrong ideas about a place or about people or a culture and I think also, especially as a woman, perhaps in some ways it was actually easier for me, because I think a lot of people still have this idea that women needs more protection, we are more vulnerable, we need more support. So when I arrived, somewhere, people were like, oh wow, like, what are you doing here? Are you all alone? Like, what? Like, sit down, you must be tired, like, are you hungry? Come here, like, people were like feeding me, and just like so many people didn't know like what they could do for me, even though I didn't ask. So I experienced so much love and so much care and so much thoughtfulness along the way that made my journey so amazing, and actually defined my journey because of the people, because of the meetings with people, and I'm sure that some of that was influenced by me being a woman. Not to say that guys would not have just as an amazing experience, but in some cases I know that some people said, okay, we are inviting you to stay with us because you're a woman and you seem, not dangerous.
Because you very look like a tourist. You're not look like Africans. You are very, very white.
Sure. Yeah, I can't help it.
But you had bad experience during the trail? Like bad moments or things that you felt like a scare? Or?
Sure. I think, on a journey that is 4 years and 7 months, I think it's weird if you don't have any bad experiences. I think very few people live, for 4 years and don't have any bad experiences wherever you live. Yeah, kind of then going back again to what we're speaking about, being a woman and traveling. I think the only bad experience I had in that sense was sexual harassment. Mainly in Egypt, and
it's been several times, not once.
A couple of times, but it's mainly been in Egypt. I haven't really experienced it in other countries, and that's also like kind of debunking the stereotype about how, in Africa as a woman you are at risk all the time of being sexually harassed. You're not. But it was really hard to be on the road, to be alone, and to experience this. Some is verbal harassment, some is physical.
All along the way, or just in Egypt?
Pretty much only in Egypt, yeah.
Wow.
And it didn't happen every day, but it happened enough, to influence me in terms of I felt that I wasn't as open anymore. I kind of built a wall around me in meeting men, because I experienced that sometimes men, they would confuse my friendliness with, oh, here's an opportunity, maybe to sleep with her or something. So it was hard, because you're in a new country and you want to learn about the place, you want to meet people, and human connection is very important for all of us, to be happy. Also for me when cycling. So then, there was this gap or this conflict between wanting to be open, needing that connection with another human being, but also feeling like I also had to build some walls. So that was a tough period. But the same for me, it's really, really important to say that Egypt is also amazing. Every country has a small minority that sexually harasses or do even worse things.
Unfortunately, also in Israel.
Sure, in Norway too. Sure,
incidents,
But in my experience, I feel pretty confident that I can say that this minority in Egypt, it's bigger than in Norway. Yeah, it's. But I met also amazing people, amazing men also that I really connected with, that I'm super happy that I met.
But how did you deal with those sexual harassment all the way? It was something very massive or just verbal?
Yeah, it varied. Most of it was verbal when it did happen. And of course, the physical one is the one that's the most difficult to deal with. I think I discovered feelings I never felt before when it happened. I think the worst case was, was on a normal road during the day in Egypt. Nothing special about it. And I was just cycling, and this guy came from behind on a motorcycle. And as he's passing me, he just grabs my boob while I'm cycling. You know, I'm in motion. And it's,
Need a lot of coordination for...
Yeah.
Wow.
It's...
But like without the laugh and the fun, it's very, very bad feeling because you are not in your hometown.
Mm-hmm.
You are a tourist. And you cannot protect yourself on the way.
Yeah, it's not only one feeling. It's like a cocktail of feelings that's suddenly being triggered.
Mm-hmm.
At first, you know, like you're in shock. Like you understand what just happened, but at the same time, you cannot understand how another human being can do this to you or to anyone else. And you feel frustrated because you also feel misunderstood. You feel that it's unfair. You feel sad. You feel disgusted by yourself, even though you haven't done anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like the blame, you know, like part of it also, like you turn it to yourself. Yeah, and then I also felt a bit like I felt all of this, but also like anger to the degree that I've never felt before in my whole life. You know, it's it's really difficult to describe. I think maybe like the best image is to like the best way to describe it is that I'm sure if you have seen me, even though there was all of these emotions raging at the same time, I'm sure that you would have seen like smoke coming out of my ears. I never felt this anger before, never.
How did you react in that moment? You freeze, you fly, you fight?
It was funny. I really, really wanted to somehow communicate to him that what he did was not okay. But, you know, he took off on his motorcycle way before, you know, I could do anything or say anything. So that's also why that's also why I felt frustrated. And felt that it was so unfairly because I couldn't say anything. I couldn't do anything. But somehow, like I was so mad, I was so angry, and like I kept on cycling and like super fast, like somehow like wanting to catch up with him. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, you just like it's crazy. It's really intense.
Mm-hmm. It's also the way to take out all the emotions by doing sport or putting out on something that you can express yourself.
Definitely, and I don't know if this is karma, what it is, but yeah, I think I cycled for maybe 5 minutes, and then suddenly I saw him next to the road, and his motorcycle had broken down.
This called karma.
Yeah, and yeah, like it was crazy. Like I didn't. Yeah, again, like I didn't know what, like I didn't have a plan, you know, like it wasn't like I knew what to do. Your emotions are just, you know, they're raging, and yeah, and as I said, like I wanted somehow to communicate that it's not okay. So yeah, I stepped off my bike and walked up to him, and I don't know how many centimeters from his face I was with my face. And I just like, I emptied myself verbally, like, on him, mostly in Norwegian, but also some English. I'm sure, like, he didn't understand anything, like the words itself, but of course he could feel it, you know? And, yeah, and after I kind of screamed just, you know, from the bottom of me, like from the bottom of this deep emotional place, he didn't react. Like there was no reaction. Nothing happened.
Nothing on his face.
No,
nothing. It was normal.
Yeah, as if I hadn't done anything. And I guess, like as I said, I didn't have a plan, but yeah, I guess I wanted some kind of reaction. You know, that he would somehow indicate that he was sorry or that he understood. You know, that what he did was wrong. So then again, like I acted out of this emotional place, not rationally. And I'm not really a violent person. Shame, this is so bad. I shouldn't say it.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I really wasn't thinking, and then I hit him, like just like triangly across his chest, just like a little bit, and then still like no reaction.
No reaction?
No. And then I hit him like similarly, like a little bit like trying on his upper arm. Still no reaction.
He didn't try to stop you or something?
No.
And people around you, nothing?
There were no people around us.
Wow.
Yeah. Just like a normal road, you know. And and then I just hit him in the face as hard as I could. And again, like I didn't think. It just came from somewhere. And I kept on hitting. Then he reacted. And he tried, of course, to stop me. He like now I'm going really deep into the details here, but he tried to hold my hands, and at some point he like twisted my arm behind my back, but then I was able to get out of it, like his grip. Then he also took his hand around my throat, but then I didn't feel like there was any danger of him choking me or anything like this. He just wanted me to stop. Mm-hmm. And then he tried to get away. So he started pushing his motorbike away from me, and I kept running after him, like hammering him on the back. I'm sure from the outside it must have looked like a cartoon or something, really. And at that point a car actually came and stopped. And I remember I was so happy. I was so relieved that, oh yes, finally, somebody's coming, because in my mind it meant help. So I went over to the car and I explained in my Arabic, which I've learned along the way, what happened, and I can tell they understood what had happened. They become their faces became really serious. And then he also came over, because there was no way that he could get away, because his motorcycle wouldn't start. And then he came and he introduced himself, shook their hands. He had the upper hand because they're from the same culture, they speak the same language, all of these things, and he just left, and they didn't say nothing to him. And I'm like, it's not okay, they didn't say anything. We should go to the police or do something.
Yeah. And
as far as I understood, they just said, Allah knows what he has done, and Allah will punish him.
Wow.
And to me, not that I necessarily wanted him to be punished, but yeah, it just...
You want something to happen.
Yeah.
To him, yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of broke my heart a little bit, feeling like a second disappointment in a way.
I think now in Israel, if you have free time, try to learn Krav Maga, because the basic thing in Krav Maga...
I've heard about it.
kick the nuts, punch the nuts, and it will work, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
it's totally sad, really, to hear that as a guy. Every time I hear about something that happens, like sexual harassment from a guy to a woman, or from a guy to a guy or something, I really feeling ashamed as a guy. But people can do that.
Yeah, I think there has to be a lot more awareness being taught to all of us, men and women, everywhere, to try to reduce this. There's, of course, many different factors, leading to a person acting this way. But in general, I think a lot of it, can be helped if we have the conversations that's necessary about this topic. Yeah.
But since then, your journey changed. You been more, I don't know, tried not to be near guys, or to be more curious about what will happen after.
Yeah, I think I definitely put up some walls because of this. As I said, I felt that I couldn't be as open anymore towards guys as I normally would be. I would have to be more mindful of my context. I tried, to adhere to the social norms, dress appropriately, all of these things. But yeah, even Egyptian women that I met and that I stayed with, even they said, they're so fed up with many Egyptian guys because they experience similar things to some level. And then I realized, for the first time that, wow, you are experiencing this only because you're a woman. Not because of how you dress, not because of how you look at somebody or if you smile at somebody. No, you're only experiencing this because you happen to be born as a woman.
Yeah.
And that is sad. That's really, really sad.
But also guys sometimes got some issues like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got sexual harassment once. It was just a very basic one, but it happens also. And it's terrified, really.
Yeah, it's not okay.
Where did you slept all over the place? Like you did camping or you...
Yeah, like that night. Actually, I slept on top of the roof of a petrol station.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't cycle much longer. I came to the first village and just
You was exhausted.
exhausted. Yeah, completely. I ended up like buying myself an ice cream and be like, feeling sorry for myself. And then ask if I can put up my tent there. And as I was putting it up, this guy came. And he said, you know what, let's put your tent up on the roof so nobody can see you. And it was so nice that this stranger, came and he thought of me and cared for me.
He understands you and your needs.
And even though like he didn't know anything about what had happened, nothing. Just like a small thing like this, it meant a lot. Mm-hmm. And also in that evening, I wrote a post about it, I guess like on Facebook and Instagram, because I guess I didn't have anyone to talk to. Before I went to sleep, I had already gotten an offer from a family in the next city to come and stay with them. So I knew when I was going to bed that, I was cared for and that I had a safe place to go.
But
day.
Where did you find all the people on the road to sleep with? Like just on the road, or you post it on Facebook, or using couchsurfing, or
a mix. Like if I came to a big city, I would normally arrange it in advance, like couchsurfing or something called warm showers, which is couchsurfing for cyclists only.
Ah, wow!
Yeah.
Do you know about something like this?
It's amazing.
Really?
Everybody should cycle and check this out.
It's just in Africa or all over the world?
All over the world.
Really?
Yeah.
And also in Africa, because Africa is not so connected to all. Like also couchsurfing, I don't think it's so popular in Africa.
You find couchsurfing in the big cities, definitely. Also warm showers, some places. But because of for instance, the average Malawian household economy, for instance, you don't find people having the same way to travel the way that we do, or have the same possibilities as us. So couchsurfing is kind of not, on their horizon.
Mm.
But most of the time, I didn't plan it. I just found a house.
On the way?
On the way, yeah. At the end of the day, I was cycling. I just knocked on someone's door.
Really?
Yeah, really. Because I found out that I was afraid to sleep alone. It was my plan to sleep alone in beautiful nature. I was really looking forward to it. But then the first night I was laying there being terrified because of, my fantasy going crazy, thinking about things that wanted to harm me when that really was not the case. But because the fear was real, even though it was unnecessary, I ended up knocking on someone's door, asking if I can put my tent in the garden. And they said, what? Like you cannot sleep outside. It's cold. You must come in. So I was like, okay.
But everybody spoke English in those places? Because Africa is not famous for its English. Maybe some French, but...
Yeah, but like many people speak English. They really do. And also there are times when you don't speak the same language. There's so many other ways to communicate. Mm-hmm. You can... you can come really far with body language. You can look at each other. You can use touch, for instance, to like not sexual, but like a friendly one, like on the shoulder, whatever, to communicate that you are comfortable with each other. That you like the other person. Like the tone of your voice, for instance. Smiling, like all of these things. Like I've had amazing experiences where I've spent like many days together with people.
Wow.
And we didn't speak the same language, but we had the most amazing time, and we connected, in this other way. And
you felt different cultures, really.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cultures on the way because Africa is made from thousands of tribes.
Yeah, and that makes it so exciting.
You can meet new people, new tribes, new cultures every day.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But you stayed for longer than one day in each place, or just one day and go on?
like in the beginning when I started cycling, I was cycling quickly because everything was new, and you know, like you're thinking about the whole journey, and you're kind of having your eyes like on the finish line. But with time, I cycled slower and slower because the experiences I was having on the road were so amazing, and I just wanted more of it. You know, I didn't want to cycle too fast to miss out on meeting amazing people or having fantastic experiences. So yeah, sometimes I would stay longer. If I came to a big city, for instance, I would stay definitely for longer, like 1 week, 2 weeks. I know that in Vienna I stayed 3 weeks, Berlin also 3 weeks. It depended like on the situation.
So this is the reason why it took you 4.5 years.
Also,
yeah,
yes.
it's like 4 times more than supposed to be, I think. But
Well,
but enjoy the road, really. The
yeah.
road is the most important, not the destination.
Completely agree, and you know, it's a once in a lifetime experience. It's not like I'm
I'm
gonna.
not sure for you, because maybe next time you will, I don't know, cycle
Maybe.
for Asia or something.
I have been thinking about it. Yes, I think you get hooked once you start doing it. Because it's so amazing. But it's as I said, like in most cases, like even if you do another adventure, it's not going to be the same as you're doing. So then when you're doing it, you know, make it the most amazing experience. And you know, if you cycle too fast, if you think too much about, I have to be there at a certain time, I cannot say yes to this invitation, or, you know, have to rush on. It's like taking time is super, super important.
Yeah, also
really,
physically,
really important.
because it's very intense. It's the temperature and also the climate change make it even worse. So how did you maintain your body during the trail?
How did I do it? I mean, eating enough, sleeping enough.
You didn't have some pain in the muscles or
Not
hard muscles or something?
Not really, because I was really listening to my body. Like I wasn't pushing my body too much. Of course, at times I was pushing, definitely, but not to the point where I became exhausted for a longer period. And I think that's also what's nice about a bicycle, and also then traveling alone. Because when you're alone, you can only listen to yourself. You know, you don't have to feel bad if you cycle slower than the other person. Or on the bike, you know, it's as I kind of started saying, I didn't have any training. So in the beginning, I cycled very slow, listening to my body. If I would have just like started like powering on from the beginning, maybe I would have gotten an injury. Because you need to train, you know, to kind of to get to that level where your body is can perform without hurting itself. Yeah.
So now you have very stuffy muscles in the legs,
like
like human power.
I did at the time, but now, you know, it's been a little while since I crossed the finish line. So I'm really feeling now that my body is not as strong as it used to, and I miss it. Yeah.
Maybe an Asia trip, you really.
Yeah.
And do you use the same pair of bicycles all the way?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have emotions for this bicycle?
Very much.
Yeah. Did you call it by a name or something?
Actually, it doesn't have a name. A lot of people have asked me about this, but it doesn't. But it's definitely a girl.
It's a girl.
Even though it's blue. It's beautiful blue color.
And it's now in Israel, or it's back home at Norway?
It's in Norway, unfortunately. Yeah, I miss
It's parking
it.
there.
Yeah.
It was a special bicycle or just normal ones?
Special one. It's a touring bicycle. Like I didn't know anything about bicycles before I started, and I really depended on help from people who knew. Luckily, I had a really good friend who sorted me out with a bicycle. Like he knows everything there is, and he built it. I only know how to ride them.
It's special design for you.
Yes, for me.
Wow. What is the special design including?
Just like thinking about what kind of challenges, you know, you might face along the road. In some places I would cycle, and, you know, if anything broke down, it was not going to be easy to find special parts. So my bicycle is like it's very basic, you know, it doesn't have anything of the recent high-tech stuff. So like the size of the wheels are like 26 inches, for instance, which is the most common wheel size that you find in many African countries, even though some would say, you know, you could have a smaller one, for instance. But yeah, just like small things like this, you know, and it's steel frame as well. So it's heavy. It's 16.5 kilometers.
Wow, it's heavy. It's not aluminum or something.
No, it's proper steel, yeah. But like the thinking behind it was also like, okay, if anything happened to the frame, you can weld it, you can fix it. But if it's aluminium or if it's carbon fiber, you know, you can just forget about it. So yeah.
It's important. Also, you carried all your stuff on the back, or you have like special cases on the sides?
Yes, special cases on the side, panniers, if you want to speak the bicycle language. And it's a really nice way to travel. And of course, you know, the less things you have with you, the better. So I became very, I found it to be a lot of fun trying to think, okay, what is important and what is not important. And it's a learning process. In the beginning, I had way more stuff than I needed. Good example, panties. I had 5 in the beginning, and quickly I was like, nah, I only need 1.
But you need 2, because one you can wash, and then one you can wear. So
actually
like
not.
The optimal is 2.
Yeah, actually not, because like when you're cycling, you're wearing a bicycle trouser during the day, and only then like 1 panty in the evening. So then, yeah, you can wash it and let it dry when you're cycling. Yeah.
And also, I must to ask you, you are very white. So how did you protect yourself from the sun? Because it can be tough. Really. I have some friends that have those issues.
Definitely. SPF factor is the way to go.
Like 1,000
and covering up, yeah, really. And I also had this beautiful... how can I describe it? It's called a brim. Like if you imagine a helmet with a sombrero on top.
Oh, really?
Kind of like, around it. To get like a huge shade.
Wow.
Yeah. And I promise you, it has saved my life in more than one way.
Take off.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I think, you know, many times when I came cycling to a tiny village somewhere and people would see me coming, you know, like with this they were like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? What is this thing? This alien that's coming
on bicycles with a sombrero.
Of course, they had to invite me in.
Yeah, why not? She's not crazy. She's just a normal guy. Yeah. And also, you tried the cuisine there, like the food all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's challenging sometimes.
Yeah,
as I heard from people.
Yeah, most of the time it was good food. I was very lucky to stay with a lot of people, super lucky. And then when I did, then they would offer me to join them for dinner. And it was a really nice experience, you know, having food together, sitting around the fire at the times. Yeah, that the food was cooked on a fire. Talking, you know, either in a language that we both understood or communicating in a different way. So yeah, food was important, both to keep up the energy, but also for the cultural experience, but also for the bonding as well.
Because food is culture, yeah. As you can see in Israel, it's now close to Shavuot, and it's been Passover already, so... Yeah. Do you like the food in Israel?
Yes. I think, like, whenever I cook, between me and my partner here, you know, I always feel like he's the better cook. Well, he also is, because your food is just so much more exciting, you know, than the Norwegian food, which is more bland.
But you have salmon.
Yes, yeah, of course, of course.
But what is your favorite Israeli food?
Oh, my favorite one, wow. I kind of want to say shakshuka, even though, like a really good one. Yeah. Oh, labane. Oh, I love labane. It's not food, but, you know, it's like, you have it with other.
But did you try it with the Deruz pita? Or is that Deruz pita bread?
I have, yeah.
It's nice. I think like every child in Israel like it, really. It's the basic.
Yeah.
So, also, I will ask you a tough question. Give me one bad experience and one good one. What is like, without the sexual harassment, like another one.
Can I not say that one, or must I find another one?
Another one, yeah.
Another one.
I will make it tough for you. You can start from the good one.
Okay, let me start with the good one. No, okay. Let me try to find a bad one. I think
technical issue or something, or...
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
I can imagine that going the wheel going out from your.
Yeah. It was really challenging actually, from Sudan through Egypt because of the heat. Yeah. In Sahara, I cycled in 50 degrees. And it was affecting me physically, emotionally, but it was also affecting my bike. As I said, I didn't really know much about bike mechanics. And what I understood after a very, very long time of getting a lot of punctures on the inside of the tube was that because of the heat, the plastic rim tape that is there to protect the spokes from poking holes in the tube. It was drying up to the point where it was getting so hard that the edges of it became sharp and then punctured my tube from the inside.
Wow. What is the tubes on the bicycles?
Yeah, you have the tire, and then inside the tire.
The tube, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So unless if there's a hole in it, then your tire is flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this happened so much on that stretch. It was crazy, to the point where I felt like I couldn't trust my bicycle. It's a terrible feeling, just waiting for the next puncture. I remember one morning I woke up to a flat tire.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I fixed...
2 from 2, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I fixed it, and I was just, I was so demotivated. And then I had breakfast sitting with my back to the bicycle because I didn't even want to look at it. I was just so tired of it. And then after breakfast, I turned around to look at my bike, and then I saw, the other tire also was flat now. So before I even started, I had to fix two punctures.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that was very, very challenging.
Now in Israel, you can walk with the electrical bikes. It's very...
Yeah.
You have a lot of experience with bikes, so
now
it's a good business now.
Yeah, now.
You're also riding bicycles here in Israel? Because it's more, I think, terrible than in Sudan something.
Yeah,
It's extremely.
Yeah. No, it's here. There's also there's people everywhere. So if you need help, you can always find someone to help you if something happens. Which you can also in most places on the African continent as well. Even in the desert, you just have to wait a little bit because it takes time for people to come with their cars. But
did you take some rides? Like if you stuck or something?
No.
Wow.
Even this is yes and no, because one time I got a puncture in the desert, again 50 degrees plus, and then my pump for pumping up the tire again is stopped working. So then I got a lift to the next village to buy a new pump, and then I got a lift back again to the same place where I had the puncture.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a motivation.
Yes. Because for me, it was really important to cycle. I know it sounds maybe insane, but it was really important for me to cycle every centimeter so that I know with myself that, okay, if I say that I have cycled from South Africa to Norway, I have actually done it, and not having to add, and then this time I took a ride there, and another time, So for me, it was important.
Wow. I think this is like the showing that you are Norwegian, because so much motivation to do something correct.
Or just being stubborn.
Yeah, also. Wow. And what is the good experience? Like now we can be optimistic.
Yeah, it just fills me with so much joy just thinking about it now when you ask. Like without a doubt, there's not one good experience, but like one thing that has defined my whole journey, that has shaped my whole journey, and that is the meeting with people. So as I started saying, I was afraid to sleep alone in my tent, so therefore I was knocking doors in the afternoons when I was looking for a place to sleep where I felt safe. And again, it's important for me to point out that I was safe. It was just my imagination that made me think I was not safe. And
it's a common sense, no, to know that outside there's some animals and.
Yeah, but also them. Like, animals don't really, like, they're not really dangerous unless, you know, they feel threatened by you. Normally,
Yeah.
if an animal sees you or smells you, they don't come to you, they go away from you.
But did you saw like lions or
No.
panthers or something? No?
No.
Nothing? Wow.
No.
Like you traveled 4 years in Africa, no lions, something, or cheetah?
I had some hyenas inside my tent one night, but like they're not coming for me, you know, they were looking for if I had some food outside my tent.
But rhinos, giraffe, or...
I had an elephant running after me.
Really?
But again, it was not the elephant's fault, it was my fault because I was coming too close. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you cycled very, very fast.
As fast as I've ever done, I
Wow.
think, yeah. It's
Yeah, elephants can kill you.
yeah, they can kill you. Yeah.
It happens a lot. Like in India and in some places in Asia.
Yeah.
It's popular.
Yeah, one has to be really careful.
Yeah. Also rhinos and
Yeah.
hippopotamus.
Yeah.
Hippos. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think overall, you know, if you have good information about the place you're in, you know, if there's any things you have to be mindful of, just, you know, be aware of your surroundings and then using common sense. I think you're mitigating the risks that there might be. Yeah. And like I cannot really count, you know, that many bad experiences on my hands because because I was aware of my environment and people were, you know, caring for me along the way.
So this is the good part, but on your travel.
This is the good part, you
people.
know. Every time that I knocked on someone's door, asking if I could put my tent outside their home, everybody said yes.
Wow.
In every country, every culture, every religion, every gender, every generation, it's been the same everywhere. And this is really, really important for me to communicate. Because, yeah, like that feeling, you know, that you're left with is just, I know it sounds cheesy and I know that it sounds like I'm hippie. I think maybe I am deep down. But, you know, it's to have that overwhelming feeling of love and all that support from everyone, wherever you go, it's an incredible feeling. And this is the norm. This is what's normal. And I think, you know, in the world with clickbait and with misinformation and with news reports that only give you the headlines, not really the nuances and the context, you know, a lot of people have ideas or impressions about certain countries or certain people or even certain continents, you know, as being, that there's something, something that's not right or there's something bad, you know, or so on and so on. There's so many stereotypes. There's so many misunderstandings. There's so
And racism, everywhere.
Yeah, and it really saddens me, you know, to think about, you know, for instance, specific family like in Kenya, you know, that took me in. Like I was walking next to the road, cycling next to the road, and this guy came walking, and he was just, you know, on his way to somewhere, and I stopped him asking, you know, if he knew about a place where I could put up my tent, and he, like, you know, and he didn't know anything about me. I didn't know anything about him. But then when I asked, he said, yeah, sure, you can come home to me and my family and you can stay with us, you know, just like this. Yeah. And if you tick all the boxes, you know, like, okay, you're alone on the road, you're meeting a black African, you know, like, oh, it sounds super dangerous. It's not. People are people no matter where you go. And
this is a slogan.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And to think something else is really sad to me. Really, really sad. Because the warmth I felt, the care I felt, and the love I felt has just been overwhelming. And as I said, this is what I met everywhere. So it's really important for me, you know, to kind of break down those stereotypes, those barriers, and to remind people that everybody's the same, you know, no matter what country anyone comes from, what you look like, you know, what language you speak, what you believe in. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm so lucky to have met so many different people. I say different people with, what is that called in English? Like, or in Hebrew?
Merchaot.
Yeah, merchaot. Yeah, because what I've seen is that everybody's the same, you know?
Except Egypt.
No,
very special,
also there.
very special.
No, also there. But yeah, except, you know, there's like some superficial differences, but deep down we are. And yeah, this has been like some of my greatest experiences and some of my greatest insights. And yeah, that's really, really important for me to to share with you.
And what is your plans for the future now?
Well, now I'm writing a book, also inspired by this, like wanting to share this. So that's what I'm currently doing at Ariela most of the time.
So you know this place now.
Yes. And now I know the basement.
Wow. So I want to get a copy when it's ready. It's going to be in Norway or in English?
First in Norwegian, and then it's going to be translated to English, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe you can make a film or something. Yeah, it's worth something like this.
Yeah, some other people also mention it. So yeah, let's see.
If it starts from the podcast,
I have the
some
credit
of the cuts. Yeah, the credit. Thanks to Itai.
Yeah. No, it's nice to share. And besides for doing the book, I'm also doing talks about the journey.
Wow. Also here in Israel?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So whoever wants to.
Yeah, whoever wants.
But they have to be paid talks because I've done so many voluntary ones that now I need also to pay my rent in Tel Aviv.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So thank you very much for this episode. It was quite amazing for me because I learned so much about your woman power. You were like Wonder Woman.
Toda.
You know the Israeli Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot?
Yes.
Yeah. So you are the Norwegian one.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. But also your view about the world and the experience that you felt on the way, I think, build you better. So thank you very much that you shared with us this story. And maybe I will host you again here after you do like other crazy trails all over the world.
Yeah.
There's also the Pan America world, so
yeah,
it's
I know
this.
It's really, really difficult actually because there's so many choices, so many options.
So try to cycle again.
Yeah.
Also, of course, Israel. There's the Israeli cycling. I'm not sure if it's already done, but
I know. Like I started cycling a little bit of it. Cycle through the mountains in Eilat, and I want more.
Wow. So thank you very much, and maybe see you again here.
It'd be really nice.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
אז מה היה לנו היום? היה לנו טרסי שלקחה אותנו למסע ברחבי אפריקה עד אירופה, עד צפון נורווגיה, 25,000 קילומטר ו26 מדינות שבה תוך כדי היא חוותה גם הטרדה מינית, גם את הקשיים של המסע, גם את התחושות של להיות לבד, אבל לא התייאשה בשום שלב והראתה לנו את הכוחות המדהימים שיש לה, שעושים אותה משהיא. והיא מעוררת השראה לדעתי. ואני מקווה שזה יעורר בכם גם השראה לצאת ולפרוץ את הגבולות שלכם בלי למצמץ, וגם אם זה לוקח 4.5 שנים, להגשים את מה שאתם רוצים וללכת אחרי העקרונות שלכם. אז אנחנו היינו מטוסי נייר, אפשר למצוא אותנו באינסטגרם, בפייסבוק, פפרס פלנס, פודקאסט, נמצאים גם בפטריון, מוזמנים גם כבוד להרצאות, אולי אם אתם רוצים, נקשר אתכם אליה, ויאללה, אוהב אתכם, נתראה בפרקים הבאים. ביי בינתיים.